in the intellectual development of the learner. It emphasizes mastery of the content with the educator viewed as an expert or an authority. So expert and the authority has the entire control over the curriculum, the content, and the transmission of knowledge, and as well as the behavior of the learner. Now we have this behaviorism. Behaviorism focuses on the kind of environment or the kind of society or the kind of organizations we need, and accordingly prepare individuals for that kind of society, organization, or environment. So you can see there is strict control of the behavior of the individual. So much of training depends on reward and punishment. In educational terms, this reward and punishment is through grades, mark system, evaluations, judgment by the teacher, or disciplining. So many physical methods of disciplining, corporal punishment, it exists in many places. And basically all external forces can be controlled and they can be measured. And since this can be measured, the teaching method includes behavioral conditioning, feedback, and drills and practices. Drills and practices are something which are repetitive. We understand that everything can be measured in this, including behavior change. So whatever students learn or whatever an employee within an organization learns, that behavior change can be measured, and that's why everything should be standardized. All categories, all processes should be standardized. If somebody is learning in colloquial Hindi or colloquial Bangla or Tamil, it is of no use, but he or she should learn more in the standardized Hindi or English or Bangla or Malayalam. Though standard languages are there, standardized texts are there, standardized concepts are there. So Skinner is the main proponent of this. Now, teacher here is manager, he is the controller, and he predicts and controls learning outcomes and the desired behavior. And you can see that all these, the student is supposed to take an active role only in a pre-packaged learning. So there is nothing which is not fixed, everything is fixed, and the outcomes are fixed, the packaged learning, the curriculum is fixed, everything is fixed. Now, humanism is a tradition which is generally followed by most of the people in educational institutions, and this is appreciated, but I have my own reservations because it romanticizes many of the assumptions about human nature, and it particularly takes or considers those children or those adults who are gifted, in fact. Now, it emphasizes personal growth. The ultimate goal or the emphasis on this is personal growth and development, not the collective growth. But ultimately, collective growth or the societal growth is dependent on individual growth or personal growth. Human nature is essentially positive and has virtually unlimited potential to develop. And so it is the intellect that distinguishes human beings from animals. And we need to emphasize personal growth and self-directed learning. As we can see, this tradition basically emphasizes on the affective dimension of the learner. That means emotions. How the students get affected. If you understand, if you know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, then you would find that there are 5 needs. In terms of those needs, this basically focuses on the higher self-esteem and self-actualization. That means humanism focuses on the higher needs of the individual, not on the basic subsistence needs. I borrow from radical and the progressive traditions very much, and you are free to choose your own. Now, this radical tradition emphasizes that people themselves create meaning. It's not the text or the Bible or the Gita or the Quran which provides us authority of knowledge, but rather than people create meaning. And that knowledge leads to understanding of reality, and that reality must be applied to change the society. And one of the very proponent, very important scholar in this field is Paulo Freire. And ultimate goal is fundamental role or the purpose of education is to bring about radical social, political and economic change. Educator here is only the coordinator, and it's an equal relationship between the educator or the teacher and the learner. And I think finally what I have been emphasizing is that within all these traditions you can choose an eclectic approach. Eclectic approach is not really a model, but certainly whatever the best you consider as from various traditions, you can combine these and try to evolve a model for yourself in terms of self-directed learning for the adult learners. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ajay. Now I welcome Professor Shubhita Jain.
I want to take on from where Dr. Ajay Kumar left. I want to take a holistic perspective where I want to bring out why do we have the course structure the way we have it, and why are we going on the word participation. He said that his personal choices for the radical approach, and where there is dialogue, where the distinction between the teacher and learner is made a zero distinction. And if we are in the field of adult education, to my mind, that is, if at all, any mantra or a formula, that is participation. Because your end user is the person for whose benefit you have been employed, or you are in the